Good afternoon, everybody. It is Friday night here in Manhattan. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed at an all-time record high, as we've been talking about over the past week on the channel. The S&P 500 also closed at a weekly record, and the Nasdaq is not too far off, but is yet to close at all-time record highs. We're here at the Mania train station right here at Madison Square Garden, and we're going to be walking down to NYU, New York University. Tyree, how are you? Says, hey Tom. Sunshine After Rain is here. Says, hey Tom. Sally says, hi Tom. Ernesto says, what's up from South Los Angeles? What is up, Ernesto? Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well, and I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Hey, Michelle McGraw is here. What's up, Michelle? Long time no see, Michelle. I hope you are doing well. Hope you've had a good week. I wish you a very happy and positive weekend. Sally says, nothing much, Tom. Elizabeth is here. Says, hi, Tom. How's it going? It's going very well. Jeff says, hey, from New Jersey. What is up, Jeff? How are you? Allie says, hi, everyone. Happy Friday. What's up, Allie? Happy Friday indeed. Always good to see you, Allie. British Gray from Tampa, Florida says, good evening, Tom. Zap Allen is here. We're only going to be on for about an hour tonight, everybody. I do have to head back. It's been a long day. Busy week of earnings on Wall Street. We had a couple big names report. Tesla reported. We had Intel. All good news. However, Snapchat got absolutely clocked, missing analyst estimates. Hassan Terrell is here. What's up, Hassan? Melee, how are you? Dane Harvey says, New York is the best city in America. I would have to agree. Dave from Maine says, hello, Tom. Wade Braxton says, hey. What's up, everybody? Beautiful night. It's pretty cold. I could feel the fall in the air. I feel the fall in the air 100% tonight. But we haven't been to Washington Square Park in a while on the channel, so we're just going to walk down there. Faith says, hello, where are you headed? So we're going to go to NYU tonight. So maybe we'll walk down Fashion Avenue and walk past the Fashion Institute of Technology, which is very close to here. Very, very good school. Gene says, I have followed for a while, had a great time. You taught me. I did everything wrong when I retired. I just laughed. Gene, no problem, man. Good to have you here. Vinny Castellano from Staten Island says, hi, Tom. Hassan, hope you are well. Everybody, welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. War Walker says, Tom, good evening. What is up, War Walker? Hope you're holding down the fort in Florida. Al J says, hi, Tom. Hi, everybody. What is going on, everybody? I think there's a big concert going on at Madison Square Garden today. I forget the name, but there was so many people, like when I went to the train station, crowding around, waiting to get in the MSG. Kenneth says, Tom, I'm here, man. I made it. Awesome, Kenneth. Hope you have a great time in Manhattan. Philippines Walk RR. This is beautiful weather now, Tom. Thumbs up. I would have to agree. Wade Braxton, always good to have you here. Dane says, when is it going to be winter in New York City? I think the official first day of winter is sometime in January, I believe. But I was in Central Park today, and it was pretty chilly. It was definitely pretty chilly. Junior says, hey bro, what's up, Junior? Hope you're well. War Walker says, we had a monsoon today in Miami. Oh no. War Walker, any flooding? Hope there's no flooding. I texted my neighbor. I had him run across the street, check on my place. Junior, always good to have you here, my friend. We are right here on 8th Avenue, next to Madison Square Garden and the new Moynihan train station. And I believe there is an event going on here. War Walker says, of course, running at altitudes is, does Denver or Austin have a bigger tech scene? I would probably say Austin, but Denver is very, very close in the race. So Denver actually has a cybersecurity company that I was going to work for, or I would have liked to work for, called Ping Identity. Ping Identity. Penelope says, hi Tom. I feel the fall in the air here too in Tennessee. It feels nice, but I dread the winter. Same. Well, it doesn't snow that much in Tennessee, does it? At least where you are, I don't believe it snows that much. But happy Friday, Penelope. Steve Blades says, evening, Tom. What is up, Steve Blades? Always good to see you. Warwalker says always a flood somewhere in the hoods. The ABX girl, how are you? Good to see you, ABX girl. ABX girl is our pal from the Bronx. ABX girl, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed at all-time record highs, and we've been talking about this throughout the week. And in my newsletter that I wrote last week, every Sunday at 8 p.m., Behind the Street newsletter, I said based upon the good financial earnings we have and the Federal Reserve continuing to buy $140 billion worth of assets every month, I said I expect all of the major indices to hit all-time record highs. We first got that with the S&P 500 making all-time record highs yesterday, and now we have a closing on the Dow, new all-time record highs, and I am expecting NASDAQ to follow suit. Wade Braxton says, what is your newsletter? So every Sunday, Wade, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I write a newsletter called Behind the Street. If you click on my YouTube community page, you can read all of them for free. They're posted right there. But happy Friday, everybody. And again, I think there's a concert going on at MSG tonight. Let's see if the sign changes. It was some musical artist. I just forget what they were saying. British Grace says Ohio had tornadoes. Sally says beautiful night, Tom. What's up, Sally? Ken Kramer says Dow 40,000 soon. I'm expecting that as well. I'm definitely expecting that. Gigi NYC says hi, Tom and everybody. What's up? What's up, Gigi? Happy Friday, Gigi. Hope you're well. Dane says, how is the crime in New York City? Not too bad, honestly. George says it's 61 degrees in San Diego, California. Steve says, I meant to say stay safe, bro. My bad. No problem, Steve. No problem at all. So we're going to take a walk down to NYU, New York University. We are going to take 7th Avenue, so a different avenue down that we usually don't take. And we're going to walk past the FIT, which stands for Fashion Institute of Technology, which is actually a SUNY school. So that's within the State University of New York education system, as opposed to CUNY, which is the City University in New York. The ABX girl says the basketball game a few nights ago was insane. Yeah, I heard about that. I think, what was it, the New York Knicks ABX girl with Boston Celtics? I believe they played Boston. I'm not a big basketball fan, but it was wild taking the train home on the Long Island Railroad. Hey, Jimmy Anderson is here. Says, cheers, Tom. Can I get a let's go Red Sox? Let's go Red Sox. But I'm going to say that pretty quiet, Jimmy, so I don't get busted in the head here. Penelope says it used to snow like crazy when I was a kid, born in 1968. Just occasional snow now. Happy Friday to you, too. Thank you, Penelope. Appreciate it. We are next to the Billy Joel sign here. SUNY New Paltz, says Luis Miguel. Yeah, New Paltz is a cool school. I think it's in upstate New York. I believe I actually played them in a soccer game. I think it was SUNY New Paltz. It was like 2 hours upstate New York. Hey, Charles Garcia says, hey, Tom. What's up, Charles? Hope you're well. Jimmy Anderson, Zaha, good call. That's funny. So what is it now in terms of baseball? Is it nearing postseason? I don't know. I'm totally ignorant when it comes to sports, especially after the pandemic hit. I sort of threw my hands up in the air and just called it quits on a lot of sports. Soho guys here says, yo, Tom, how was business today? Business was good. We booked a big deal that was pending. The invoice has been floating around out there for probably 2 months. About 60 days. The customer finally got around to paying it, which is good. So that is paid in full. So we'll have a pretty nice little payday, which is good. Juan Gotti says, hey, I'm walking here. What's up, Juan Gotti? Hope you're well. The ABX girl says yes. Okay, so postseason is coming up. Maybe I'll pay attention to it during the postseason, but I'm Sorry guys if it starts to buffer. This guy is hammering me. Even though I sent him all the proposals that he needs for the night, he's probably gonna hammer me and call me 3 more times. So if the screen glitches up, it's just because I have a client calling me. The ABX girl says maybe the Dodgers versus Red Sox. Hey, RJ says Olaf from Colorado. Hope you're okay, Tom. Look at these guys, just trying to get out of a cab, and these guys are blasting on the horn. Hey, Marty Lewis says hello, Tom. What's up, Marty Lewis? Happy Friday. We are here live from Fashion Avenue, 7th Avenue. Zap Allen says, congrats, Tom, on your deal. Thank you, Zap. Congratulations on your raise. You got a phenomenal raise, so you deserve it. That's awesome. George says, I'm a San Diego Padres fan. I hope the Dodgers win. Jimmy Anderson says, winners of the Dodgers and Braves and Sox Astros will play each other. David Vargas says, hi. What's up, David Vargas? Juan Gotti, good to see you. RJ says, it's hockey season, Tom. New York Rangers won 3 in a row. Nice. What about the Islanders? A lot of people ask me if it came down between the Islanders and the Rangers, who would I root for? I'm not a big hockey guy, but probably the Rangers, even though I'm a Long Islander, so we'll see. But RJ, good to see you. But I'd probably have to say I'm a Rangers guy. Santa Monica Rodriguez, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, Kelvin, thank you so much. I hope you're well. Michelle Cunningham is here, says hello from Phoenix, Arizona. Love Phoenix, Arizona. Jillo Talks says, what's up? What's up, Jillo Talks? I'm very thankful it's Friday, guys. Very busy week. Taking flights, going on meetings, so extremely busy week. I'm glad it's Friday. Ad B says, hi Tom, how are you? I'm doing really good. So we are going to walk to NYU, New York University tonight, and we're actually coming up on FIT, which is the Fashion Institute of Technology here in New York City. I'm not sure if FIT has any dorms. I don't believe so. Maybe I'm wrong. But the majority of so FIT is within SUNY, which is the State University in New York, but I don't think any of the CUNY schools have dormitories. It's all commuter. Tyrese says, what are your plans for tomorrow, Tom? So tomorrow, I have to UPS ship the remainder of my stuff down to Miami. So I'll be doing some packing. I had to ship my desk down to North Miami Beach. So I'm gonna box all that up. It's like a standing desk. It was expensive. It was like $1,000. So I gotta box that up and send it down to Miami. Hey, Shadow King says, how about NYU Langone? What about it? It's great. Great place. I think they did the first successful kidney transplant from a pig to a human. KM says, should I wait to buy more Bitcoin? I can't advise on that, but what I will say is that I expect Bitcoin to go higher over time. Hola Wall Street, Scapero from Chile. Hey, how are you? What's going on? Dwayne says, greetings from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. We love Canadians in the chat. But one of the main things Realty by Lance is here. What's up, Realty by Lance? Hopefully you're holding down Florida for me before I come back. Sunshine after rain says TGIF. Indeed. The ABX girl says some dorms, but FIT is a SUNY commuter school, less money than Parsons. Oh, Parsons is the design school, I believe, right? Parsons School of Design. Kitchen Lab says, hi there, Tom. What's up, Kitchen Lab? RJ says, you are correct. I went to Baruch College on 23rd and Lex. And that was the campus. We played John Jay poker for fun. Hey, nice. RJ. Yeah, I don't think John Jay has any dorms either. I mean, I guess there's really no need because the majority of people who go to CUNY schools are from the city. So I guess it makes sense. But Shadow King, I do believe, and we were talking about this, I think on yesterday's stream, that at NYU Langone, they did the first successful pig to human kidney transplant, which is really phenomenal modern medicine. So here we are at the Fashion Institute Technology over here. Two Wheel Pines says, hey Tom, happy Friday. What is up, Two Wheel Pines? Hold on one second. Hope you're well, Two Wheel Pines. We're headed down to Washington Square Park. Now, I think we haven't been to Washington Square Park in about a month. We used to go all the time. But since I've been moving in and out in New York and Miami, it's been kind of tough to get down there. So it'll be fun to see what it's like tonight. It's probably going to be packed, being that it's Friday night. So we'll see. Shadow King says, yes, this can change the world. Indeed it can. So this is FIT, the Fashion Institute of Technology, right here. And it looks like some people are still coming out of class. So we'll take a little walk around here. I used to have a couple buddies that went here. And for me, says, yo Tom, I purchased the Bitcoin Standard today. Should be a good read for the weekend. Thanks for the recommendation. No problem. That's the best book probably ever written on Bitcoin. So definitely check it out, read it. And I remain bullish. And if anybody wants to know my in-depth thoughts about it, you can read the Behind the Street newsletter on my YouTube community page. Look at these beautiful murals here. Unbelievable artwork. Very beautiful. Hey, Doug says, hello from London, Ontario. What's up, Doug? Good to see you. Two Wheel Pines is doing great. Happy to be here. We're here at the Fashion Institute of Technology looking at all the murals here. And I believe you could actually follow these artists. They have their tag names up here. So very beautiful. Really cool. J.A. says, hi, my friend. Saludos from El Salvador. Thank you, J.A. Hope you're well. The ABX girl says, I did makeup for their fashion shows, their fun times. Really, ABX? That's awesome. I think this one's my favorite. The guy studying with the, I guess you could call that like some sort of bird and a dragon. Really cool. Mariano says, hi Tom, greetings from Buenos Aires, Argentina. What is up, everybody from Argentina? Savi says, love New York, good night. What's up, Savi? Penelope says, that is amazing, makes me think twice about my love of eating bacon, says Penelope. Wim says, peace Tom, do you ever show your face? No pressure, just want a face to the stellar voice. Yes, we do. You could, if you search Wall Street Scape-Bro on IG, you will be able to see my face. And I've also done some podcasts. So if you listen to the Akram's Razors podcast, it's like a financial podcast. I was on that. I did a guest appearance on that show last year. Roy S. says, hi Tom, all mods and everybody. Good morning from my side of the globe. Have a nice weekend. What's up, Roy? Always good to see you here, Roy S. Hope you're having a great weekend. Linda says, hi Tom, love the art. Hope you are going to have a nice weekend. I plan on it. I definitely plan on having a nice weekend. We may go to Brooklyn tomorrow. I'm not sure. Maybe. So I believe everybody, what is this? This is the Squid Games, I think, this show. It's on Netflix. It's called Squid Games, I believe. Jimmy Anderson says, dude, Tom, we'd love to have you on Beer and Bets podcast. Would you be interested? For sure, Jimmy. 100%. Absolutely, I'd do that. Rosie says, hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, Rosie, y tú? Muy bien, y tú? War Walker says his body matches his beautiful voice. Ed says, that's funny. What's up, Ed? Hello from Russia and St. Petersburg. Wow. St. Petersburg, Russia is in the house. That is awesome. We're here at the Fashion Institute of Technology on West 28th Street and 7th Avenue. It's called Fashion Avenue. Beautiful. And I think these kids are actually in the middle of painting these murals. Mike says, I'm from Cork in Ireland. Hard to believe this is New York. Want to go this Christmas, COVID permit, or want to go to Christmas, COVID permitting. So that's awesome. You should definitely visit New York City. I believe all foreigners are allowed back in New York, or allowed back in the United States on November 8th, assuming that you do have a COVID vaccine. I believe I read that in the Wall Street Journal. Hey, Alice says hi from Guyana. What is going on from Guyana? Hello, everybody that is tuning in from Guyana. So Alice, hope you have a great weekend. Rosie says, gracias, Tom. De nada, Rosie. De nada. Lost in the Curve says, do you think Starlink will convince more people to live in rural areas, thus reducing the real estate mania in urban areas? Well, I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think we just have a housing shortage due to government bureaucracy and underbuilding in the United States. Hey, Black Angel says hello. What's up, Black Angel? Fresh Start is here, says hi, Wall Street Skate Bro. The ABX girl says, are you going to the new Vanderbilt observation deck? Probably not. Probably not until next year. The Gabo says hello from messy country. Hey, everybody from Argentina. What's going on? Dante Rose says hi, Tom, and stay safe. What's up, Dante? We're here at FIT. So let's see if there's more artwork on the other side. But these are actually really good. These are really nice. And I think all the artists, if you want to follow them, their tags, what is it called? Their handles, I guess, are on the top. Hey, Loose72 says, Wall Street Skate Bro is live. Hello. What is going on, Loose72? Tom, can you show me the H&M building? Yes. So the H&M building is directly uptown. So if you see that spire sticking up, that's the H&M building. Penelope, how are you? Penelope says, you need to do a face reveal of your kitty. Yes, I do have a cat down in Miami, Florida that I do take care of. Faith says, can we see any fashion designs? Yes, I believe here are some here. So this is FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology. Very beautiful. So Faith, here's some fashion designs here. Alice says, it's raining here in Guyana, feeling the Christmas vibes already. So I played soccer with a kid from Guyana. Very good guy, Karate, if you're out there. Lou72 says, just from relaxing and watching Wall Street Skate Bro. What do you guys think of these? I think these are pretty good. Faith says yes. Is that Times Square? Yeah, it's Times Square Uptown, 42nd Street. Felix says, hello, Tom. Congrats on 5K subscribers. Thank you, Felix. Felix, I hope you're having a phenomenal Friday and happy weekend, my friend. Hunter says, Hunter here, brother. Have a great night, brother. Be safe all the way from Houston, Texas. Phenomenal. Kilo Whiskey Juliet is here, says, hey, Tom. What's up, Kilo Whiskey Juliet? Always good to see you. Super Friends in the City, Fernando is here. What's up, Fernando? Fernando is in Central Park today. Beautiful Central Park, one of my favorite places. Faith says, very creative. Black Angel says, you like the dresses. So fun fact, I actually walked in a fashion show back in the day, back in the good old days, for Henry Picado. And it was at the Mercedes-Benz building near DeWitt Clinton Park. If anybody's familiar with DeWitt Clinton Park, there's the Mercedes-Benz dealership, and on the roof there's actually like a big gym, and there's a big pool, and that's where one of the runway places took place. No, I wasn't. I'm not a model, but one of my good friends is a designer, Henry Picado, very good friend of mine. So he asked me to walk in his show, and I was like, yeah, sure. I got a lot of free food, and it was a blast, so I had fun. Kilo Whiskey Juliet, good to see you. Loose72, indeed, absolutely. So everybody, please check out our friends, Super Friends in the City. Fernando. Great guy. Very nice. Hey, George says, what's up, George? Hope you're well. I like these. I'm not sure which one's my favorite, but I'm gonna have to say this one is my favorite right here. What do you guys think out of these? I mean, they're all very good, but I think the third one in from the left is my favorite. Fresh Start says, Tom, can you show me the H&M sign? We are nowhere near that right now, so it would be a little bit of a hike to do that. Now, actually, this one is my favorite. This one is my favorite right here. Super Friends in the City says, really neat art. Yeah, so Fernando, we are at the Fashion Institute of Technology, FIT. Hunter says, awesome street art. What's for dinner, Tom? I went to a Chinese place, very good place, near Bryant Park. It actually just opened again for indoor dining, so not bad. So Fernando, this is FIT, so Fashion Institute of Technology, around 28th Street, West 28th and 7th Avenue. Hey Lily Lil, how are you? Black Angel says, I like the flower printing. How did I meet my designer friend? I'm not sure. How did I? Forget. Oh, back in the day, I wanted to make... So way back in the day when I was in college, I wanted to be in the jewelry business. So I reached out to some local designers for help, but that business never took off. Lou72 says, I went to a Thai restaurant. There's some great Thai food restaurants. One of my good buddies, one of my good friends owns a Thai food place here in New York called Sen, S-E-N-N, on Manhattan's Upper West Side. Would you ever do a live of Fordham University? For sure. Fordham has a beautiful campus. Well, they have two campuses, two main ones. One is in the Bronx, and the other is actually near John Jay College. But I believe that is the Fordham Graduate School, the one that's near John Jay College. So it's like a criminal justice school on Manhattan's Upper West Side. But everybody, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, we closed at new all-time record highs. We had a brand new, the highest weekly close ever on the S&P. And the NASDAQ is lacking just a little bit. And I think because we're seeing a little bit of a rotation into value names. So oftentimes these high growth tech companies will trade at premium valuation. So their multiples are probably a little bit too extended, especially in an environment where people are expecting interest rates to rise a little bit. So I think that the NASDAQ is lagging. We had Snapchat miss pretty badly on their earnings. The stock was down about 22% after hours, pretty much stayed down throughout the entire day, trading day today. But I still expect the NASDAQ to follow the Dow and the S&P for new all-time record highs before the end of the year. That is the thesis I keep. Shadow King says, I would love to see the one in the Bronx. Definitely will do that. Hey, Dalton says, what's up? What's up, Dalton? Always good to see you. Sunshine After Rain says, cute dogs. Yeah, Manhattan has so many dogs. Beautiful. JK says, hi, Tom. Hi, Sunshine After Rain. Good to see you tonight. Happy to be on live, listening about the markets, see what's going on in the Big Apple. Right back at you, JK. Hope you're well. So, JK, thank you for joining. We are headed back down to NYU, New York University, 8th Street, and Washington Square Park. We actually just walked past the Fashion Institute of Technology on West 28th Street. West 28th Street. Fresh Start says, Tom, you're missing my comments. I apologize, Fresh Start. Fresh Start says, what color is the Empire State Building lit up? I'm not sure. We're going to have to walk a little bit further downtown in order to see the Empire State Building. JK says, thanks, Tom. NYU, I know the area. It's a great area. Love NYU. We'll take a look at the Stern Building. Will says, are you in Chelsea now? Close. Danny says, good start for Digital World Acquisition Corp, says Danny. Blue 72 says Wall Street Skate Bro knows about the stocks and the market. This guy's doing a crazy U-turn here. 92 says, what's up, Tom? That Bitcoin looks like it made a double top in the weekly, maybe heading bearish, says Chris. Chris, I still hold my view that it's going to go much higher. So I am holding. However, we are about 27% above the 50-day, so any pullback to the 50 should be bought, in my opinion. But I don't give out any advice, but that's just what I'm doing. We blew past new all-time record highs, and I think what's happening is the market is signaling a second wave of inflation. We had Fed Chair Jerome Powell virtue signal to the American people that inflation is going to be transitory and temporary, which was a lie. And he knew it was a lie. But that's what the Federal Reserve does. They lie. So we're going to have an inflation print worse than before, in my view. And I think Americans are going to get hit with a second wave of inflation. They're estimating consumer prices will be up about 6% in the quarter. I think that print is actually closer to 12. So I think double that. That's the number that they're allowing you to know. So we're seeing a big bid in commodities prices. Crude oil is taking off. And I do agree with Bank of America's price target of $100 on the CL futures contracts for crude oil. So that is my view. Hey, Johnny C. What's up, Johnny C? Always good to see you. Hope you're doing well. JK says crude is up. You're right, Tom. $100. Ken says hi, Tom. Hi, Chad. What's up, Ken? Jack says what's up, Tom, from New Zealand. What is up, everybody from New Zealand? Linda says Mark Levian said 12% today. Johnny C says no worries if you missed my comments. Young man, keep up the awesome work. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Gene says Wall Street Skate Bro, good evening. How has your workday been? My workday's been really good. Very good. Closing some deals, getting things done. What about you, Gene? The Swan is in here. What's up, the Swan? Quan says, what's up? Tom, my G. What's up, Quant? Always good to see you. Happy Friday. Ed says TD Bank, question mark. The Swan says, hi, skateboarder. Hi, all. Hope everybody's well. Wendy says, what the heck? Some people not wearing jackets. Is it cold here? Or it is cold here in Vancouver, British Columbia. Linda says 12% inflation. Ken says, do you do any day/swing trades? No, I don't do any day trades. The average, I think the last time I looked, the average position that I hold is anywhere from 8 to 18 months. 8 to 18 months. Because if you really want to capture a large move in any particular equity, you need to be able to sit through earnings reports, right? That's when the majority of the moves in these stocks actually happen, is after a big earnings event. So if you're not willing to hold a large position in a particular security through an earnings event, you know, you're not really going to be in for any sort of price appreciation. That's just my view. So you have to know the fundamentals of the company. You have to know the financials inside and out. So I think it's a very good, useful skill, you know, to take some sort of class in securities analysis, so you can understand how to read a balance sheet, how to read the cash flow statements of these companies, the 10Ks, the 10Qs, all that good stuff. Because you need to be in these names for at least 4 to 6 earnings reports. Fresh Start says, Tom, does the World Trade Center look like a rainbow? I'm not sure. Let's check it out, Fresh Start. Let's definitely check it out. I'm not sure it does look like a rainbow today. I did see it earlier. I thought it had a blue top. So we'll see. And I'll catch up on some of the comments here. Linda says, love the flower stands. I do too. At a lot of the bodegas, they'll have the flower stands, which look great. And the smell is really good too. So now we are on West 19th Street, headed downtown to NYU, New York University. JK says, I tend to hold two portfolios. One is for my long-term stocks and never sell, such as Apple, Tesla, etc. The others is for short-term swing trades, 1 to 8 months. 1 week to 8 months. I think that's a pretty good idea. JK says, no supply for Intel. Yes. And I think what Wall Street didn't really like is they had a lot of capital expenditures this year. I think they're investing $20 billion into a chip foundry in Arizona. So that's big capex for the company. And oftentimes Wall Street doesn't like to see that short term, but I think long term that's the right thing to do. Michael F says, good evening. Could you offer an explanation of what a SPAC is? Curious after seeing the rally today. So Michael F, SPAC stands for a special purpose acquisition company. So if you think about what an IPO is, an initial public offering, it's essentially a company that raises money to go public, in which case the ownership of that company transfers from the private ownership. So you could think about private equity, venture capital, the founders of the company, and that ownership gets transferred to public interest. So it could be anything from retail investors, institutional investors, mutual funds, pension funds, and the like. But with the SPAC, a special purpose acquisition company, it's sort of the reverse of what an IPO is. Essentially, they raise the money first and then look for an acquisition target. So I think within the SPAC space, there is a lot of frothiness. I personally would never invest in any of these types of deals. That's just me. It's just sort of out of my risk tolerance there. But essentially, that's what a special purpose acquisition company is. You raise the money first, and then you try to find the acquisition target via a shell company. So they create a shell company to then take something public after they have all the money raised. So a little bit kludgy there. I think there's going to be a lot of bad deals, let's just say, going on in that arena. But that's sort of my take on it. And I would not get caught up in all that hype. I think there's mini micro bubbles within the markets in general, and I think the SPAC space is probably one of the ones that I would tend to avoid, in my opinion. This store has really nice furniture. Lost in the Curve says, what position did you play in college soccer? Any goal or game stories? I was a center midfielder, but I did also play left back. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much. JK says, Shadow King dividend stocks are a good choice for long-term holds. Fresh Start says, Tom, have you seen Action Kid today? I have not seen him in person. Shadow King says, dividend stocks. Yeah, so I mean, the only thing is you have to be careful with dividend stocks depending on their yield. Historically, the larger the yield on individual companies, the worse the company is, and it usually means the growth is already priced in. Gene says, Wall Street Skate Bro, will you get some tropical air this Monday, meaning returning back to Miami? Yes, so Monday I will be back in North Miami Beach. JK says, I also hold beyond my short-term and long-term portfolios. I have crypto assets account. That's great, JK. Ken says, AMD is crushing Intel. I would agree with that, Ken Kramer. Roy S says, Tom, seems Evergrande managed to avoid the default situation. Well, I mean, they're making their payments, but what I suspect is happening is the central bank, or the Chinese, the Bank of China, is probably funneling them money. But we'll probably have a whole other stream on that. But I did, about 2 weeks ago, I dedicated an entire stream to do a deep dive into the Evergrande situation. Ken says, are you in the market for furniture? I think you stopped to look at nice furniture early this week. I am in the market for furniture, but not nice furniture. Very, very junky furniture I'm gonna buy. Rick Rock says, hello from Liverpool, UK. NJB says, hey everyone, hope you are all well. Thank you. Shadow King says, yeah, I'm a long-term investor. That's phenomenal. Hello from Vermont. Welcome everybody from Vermont. Jason Wyatt says good evening. How are you, Jason Wyatt? Hope you're well. Cosmo Scary is here. What's up, Cosmo? Apple chips are great, says JK. Dark OP says, I'm fear of a crash. Do you think next week? I lost your comment. Could be a big crash. No, I do not. Ed says, Apple chips are so good, it's hurting Intel. George says, you can go online and check. I keep losing your comments because they go by so fast. Check Empire State Building color. Cosmo Scary says, what do you think of Rivian? My dad apparently got invited to invest in the IPO. What I think of them, I mean, I wouldn't buy anything without earnings. That's just me. Like, that's just my, investment philosophy and thesis. So I wouldn't buy anything with, I think they're pre-earnings. I think the company's pre-earnings. They're an EV company. I believe Rivian is a subsidiary of Amazon, isn't it? But your dad probably got approached because he is what's called an accredited investor. So he's probably of a high net worth individual or ultra high net worth. So he was probably approached to invest maybe pre-IPO potentially. I think it'd probably be a pretty good deal. I mean, it would really have to be a really bad IPO in order for the pre-IPO investors to not make money. So I would definitely have a look into it. Nicholas says hello. JK says, I advise people consider investing in crypto assets better than gold, land, money, material items. It's perfectly scarce. Interesting take, JK. I think the vast majority of things in the crypto space is fraudulent. I think the vast majority of it is all scams and nonsense. But I do agree with your thesis that Bitcoin and Good evening there, Tom. Hope all is well with you. Hello from Toronto, Canada. Hey, Mark. So Mark is our good pal here from Toronto. He works in the medical marijuana space. We actually were having an interesting conversation a couple streams ago about medical marijuana. So maybe we'll have Mark Davis on the channel one day to sort of give a rundown about what he does, what he's seeing, just to give not only me, but I guess all the other viewers a deeper look into the medical marijuana space, to see how it's evolving, to see how it's actually helping people firsthand. So I think that would be a very interesting proposition if we did that. Nicholas says, what are your thoughts on merchant cash advances? I don't really have any thoughts on them, but 9 times out of 10, no good. No good. But Nicholas, hope you're well. Storm Chaser says blurry. What's up, Storm Chaser? You know what? I think the top of the Freedom Tower is it rainbow? No, it looks red to me. Michelle Cunningham says, I would love to hear from Mark Davis. Yeah, we're gonna set something up because I think the medical marijuana industry is it's so important, and I think a lot of people are underestimating it. So I definitely want to get him on to talk about it, just to do a deep dive into real world examples of patients that it's helping. Who is it helping right now? And what is the total addressable market of this industry? So we're definitely going to do it. Wendy England says, I like how they have made all the sidewalk patios. Have they done the same here? Oh, they have done the same here. Awesome. Williams says, Bleecker Street. Cosmo Scary says, did you watch yourself on the Twitch stream, Tom? Cosmo, I did. I went back and watched the link that you sent me. Indeed, I did. Indeed I did, my friend. JK says Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XLM are the ones I am in. In the end, it's only BTC that I have true faith in. This is JK. Johnny Walker says Lombardi's is good too. Oh, for pizza. So the broker dealer that I use, or the exchange, I should say, that I use for cryptocurrencies is Gemini. ABC123 says 1. Fresh Start says, Tom, you're still missing my comments. I apologize, Fresh Start. Yeah, I mean, everybody, if I do miss your comment, just understand that it is a little bit difficult when the comments are ripping by. It's hard for me to get to everyone, but I do my best, so I do apologize. Anna Andrews says, good evening, Tom. Thanks for your time after your busy day. Anna, thank you for your time. Nicholas says, what's a lucrative sales job for someone looking for employment? I would go into tech sales or enterprise software sales. Some companies that I would apply for as an account executive or enterprise account executive would be Okta, CrowdStrike, Ping Identity, Fortinet, Salesforce, Oracle, SAP, ServiceNow, Atlassian, Twilio. So I would definitely apply as an account executive at all of those companies. And they are very, very lucrative paying jobs, extremely lucrative. Hey, Reels, what's going on, Reels? Long time no see. Shadow King says, what hospital is this? I think it's Lenox. I'm not sure. The Swan, good to see you. Buzz Beater says, hi from Korea. Hey, 안녕하세요. 이름이 뭐예요? But Nicholas, those are very lucrative sales careers in tech sales and enterprise software sales. Obama says gold and art for me. Those are very good investments for sure. Nicholas's best place to grab a slice in New York. I would try Prince Street Pizza, very different. Sai says, is it chilly out, Tom? It is probably about 67 degrees. But here's the Empire State Building, the Freedom Tower, right there. NYC Cherry Groups is what encompasses the job description of a software sales job. This is Cherry Group. Cherry Group, good to see you, my friend. Long time no see. Nicholas says, does tech sales involve cold calls? Yes, it does. It involves many. Essentially, you have to build relationships with customers, right? And, you know, with tech sales, you do need to be a little bit technical, right? You do need to understand how different systems integrate with each other via APIs and things like that. So depending on what, company, 9 times out of 10, the existing customer will use some sort of CRM software or HR management platform. So you need to know your way around Salesforce or Workday. So if you're doing any, API integrations, you'll need to sort of have a high level overview of how to do that and advise the IT departments. But on every account executive team at any software company or tech company, you do have what's called an SE or a solutions engineer. So a lot of the times when I went on business meetings, I would actually bring my engineer with me. So I would do all the talking in terms of relationship building, making the customer feel comfortable to work with our company. But then the solutions engineer would be a little bit more technical on the technical side, actually working with the on-site software engineers, doing the integration process and such. So hopefully that makes sense. Fresh Start says, Tom, can we see the Empire State Building from Washington Square Park? We will, Fresh Start, I promise. St. Vincent's Medical Center says, Ken. JK says, Tom, see you later, off to a party. Well, I hope you have fun, JK. Adri says, damn, I was there in New York about 1 month ago. I feel so nostalgic. Well, I hope you had a great time. It's a beautiful day in New York, or beautiful night, I should say. And we are overlooking the Freedom Tower. Phenomenal. Samuel says, biggest fan from Ethiopia. Welcome everybody from Ethiopia. Alice is here. How are you, Alice? Nicholas's thoughts on the straight line strategy. Is that Jordan Belfort book, I believe, I think, called Straight Line Selling? I think that's it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you're a people person, if you know how to talk to people, if you know how to respect people and follow up and make them feel comfortable, you're going to be a great salesperson. Ken says, what kind of car do you drive, Tom? Is it a Tesla? I don't drive. I do not drive. Junior says, I am back. Ed says, this is my quant. Nicholas says, tech sales versus MCA sales. What is MCA? Could you clarify that? I'm not sure about that acronym. Alice says, congrats on 5,000, Tom. Hey, thank you, Alice. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Stop at Bleecker Street Pizza and grab a grandma slice, says Ken Kramer. Ken, maybe I'll grab one for you. What do you think about that? Edson says, hey, bro, how's it going? It's going really well. Thank God it's the weekend. I usually don't say things like that, but it was a killer week. Pretty exhaustive week for me, in and out of business meetings, conference calls, things like that. So it should be good to sort of hopefully relax. I do have to do some moving this weekend, but we'll see. We'll see. The Swan says salespeople have to be a conversationalist. Nicholas says grab a slice for the chat. Indeed we will. NYC Cherry Groove says exclamation point Swan. Cherry Groove, can you believe we got the Swan back in the chat? Phenomenal. I'm so happy about that. But Alice, thank you again. I appreciate it. Turkle says, saw local McDonald's prices increase 15% yesterday. Yes, so Turkle, we were talking about that as well, that a lot of these big corporations are going to be passing on the price increases to consumers. So raw materials costs are going up, commodities prices are going up, and these big corporations are not going to eat those prices. They're not going to eat those price increases, so they will be passing them on to the consumers. Ken says, do you do business dinners? Yes, and I spent a pretty penny on business dinners and lunches this week. Daryl says, hi, Tom. Walk, Ride, Fly is live at Columbus Circle area. Hey, I used to live right there at Columbus Circle. Nicholas says, MCA merchant cash advance, tech sales versus MCA sales. I don't really know anything about merchant cash advance sales, but I would probably work at a pure play software company in cybersecurity, because what you want to do is you want to see a total addressable market that is massive, right? And you don't want to go into a sales position in a declining industry. So a lot of the times when I talk to CIOs and CEOs of companies, especially here in New York, what I'll find is that everybody is looking for an implementation strategy of some sort of cybersecurity product, whether it be IAM, which is an acronym for Identity and Access Management. So you can think about a company like Okta, which provides identity and access management. Ping Identity provides IAM software. Single sign-on, things like that. Every single company that I talk to are looking to spend money on these cybersecurity protocols. So if you know that it's a very hot commodity in the marketplace, that's probably where you want to look and apply to cybersecurity companies. But that's just what I advise. But I just want to give you sort of my thought process on that. Mark Benioff for president says Ken Kramer. Leah says, congratulations, Tom, for 5K subscribers. Thank you, Leah.
You can't do that.
Cosmos says, yay, inflation. Yeah, unfortunately, I think we're going to get hit with the second wave of inflation. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. Nicholas says, might as well grab a slice from Joe's since you're in the Vexed if. This is Nicholas. Lost in Curb says, these big franchise eateries need to totally automate, in my opinion, employees not paid fairly. Yeah, so I mean, I think we're seeing that, and I think that's a very good point. With this global labor shortage we have, especially in the hospitality industry, especially in the hospitality industry, companies are investing more in automation. So when you go into the McDonald's, when you go into the Wendy's, I think we're going to start to see more robotics being integrated into local fast food restaurants and even some fast casual places and regular eateries. So if you think about big chain restaurants like a Chili's or a Fridays, I think you're going to see robotics and automation replacing waiters, replacing chefs. So you'll probably just walk into a restaurant and just order right from a tablet on the table, as opposed to hiring somebody to take your order. That's what I think is going to happen. So definitely be on the lookout for a lot of those robotics companies. Some of them which are actually publicly traded. I think their revenues are probably going to double, if not triple, over the next probably 2 to 3 years, because there's a pretty large TAM, total addressable market, for that. Do you have any PG-13 stories back from your Wall Street days? So I actually am in tech. I'm a tech guy. I've worked in tech sales my entire life. So I actually have never worked for a traditional investment bank. However, I did do an internship for a hedge fund when I was in college. So can't really advise on any stories because I have not worked at the investment bank, but a lot of my friends are investment bankers and the majority of them are addicted to Adderall. That's really the only thing I could say. Cosmo says, I ordered from a Toast tablet on the tram the other day. At TAM the other day. About Toast, which is now a public company. I've been watching that company since they were private. So I think it's going to be one to watch. It's sort of like a Square, but mainly dedicated towards restaurants and hospitality. So Toast is a great company. Shadow King says, which do you think is better to hold on to forever, Coca-Cola stock or P&G stock? I would probably hold on to neither. And then if you're going to hold on to something forever, I would probably just hold on to an index that tracks the S&P 500 and just reinvest those dividends, because you're probably going to get better capital appreciation and similar dividend income with just a basic S&P 500 index fund or ETF. Because Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola, I mean, you have to think about something. This is what I think about in terms of those companies. You know, where is the new and up and coming innovation? You know, Coca-Cola, they sell, you know, junk food, right? There's no innovation in that. But if you own the S&P 500, you own companies that are actually revolutionizing the world and changing the world. You know, Tesla, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, right? And the yield, I think, on the S&P 500 is about 1.4%. So if you just dollar cost average into the S&P and reinvest the dividends, not only are you going to get a broader range of diversity, but you're also going to get exposed to higher growth companies for diversification and similar dividend income, very similar dividend income. So that's what I would advise. But then again, I don't give out financial advice. I'm just telling you what I would do. Ruben says, hi, Wall Street Skate Bro. What's up, Ruben? Obama says, hard Mountain Dew on the way. Lena Sandoval says, hello, Tom. How are you? What's up, Lena? We are headed to NYU, New York University tonight. The Aviator is in town. What's up, Aviator? Obama says, addicted to pizza. Richard S. says, New York City Vision's out on Friday night. Faith says, have you heard of Burp Suite application security software? I have not, Faith. Cosmo Scary says, Tame is a falafel place. Awesome. Jason says, have you taken the CFA exam? Jason, I have not. Have you taken the CFA exam, Jason? And if so, how was it? The Aviator says, hello from the greater Cleveland, Ohio area. I hope I am not too late. What have I missed? Not too much. Hey, Astia Herbert says, are you born in New York? Yes. Yes, I am from New York, and I hope you are well. Ken says, what companies provide automation to restaurants? There's a couple. There's a few, Ken, and I will write about it in this week's installment of Behind the Street newsletter that you can read on my community page. Cosmo Scary, good to see you. Frank says, Tom, GE, what happened to those hundreds of outdoor seating restaurants? Hundreds of outdoor seating restaurants to the freezing temperatures, revenue impact the owners. I think it probably did, Frank, but in all honesty, I sort of like the look of these outdoor dining places, if you ask me. But GGMYC, I see you here. How are you? Ken says, what do you think about Kathy Wood from ARK? I think you said Carrie. Her name is Kathy Wood from ARK. ARK Invest is great. They are located here in New York City. However, they are moving down to St. Petersburg, Florida very soon. Cosmo Scary says dollar cost average into a low cost index fund tied to the S&P 500. Hey JL, what's up JL? Happy Friday, my friend. Lisa says, where are you live streaming tomorrow? I think we're gonna be in Greenpoint, Brooklyn tomorrow. We will probably be in Greenpoint, Brooklyn tomorrow. Richard S. says, Tom, have you ever built your own computer? You know what? I was thinking about doing that, and then I just totally gave up because I don't really have a use case for it, right? Some people have a use case if they're doing, you know, like if they're playing like specific computer games, but I don't really have that much of a use case to do that, and my hobbies aren't really correlated with that. But I do know some people that do build their own computers. Do you think it's bad having a taxable brokerage account? No, dude, I think it's an absolute must to have a taxable brokerage account. I have a taxable brokerage account, and that's where I run my long-short portfolio out of. A taxable brokerage account is mainly if you're looking to run your own money, right? So I have multiple accounts. I have like my IRA for my retirement, in which case I just constantly add money to the account, no matter if the market is up, down, or sideways, right? Because that's when I retire, in 50 years, when I'm like 65. However, my long-short portfolio is in my Interactive Brokers account, where, I try to capture outside performance or generate what they call in the industry as alpha, right? Try to generate alpha, which is anything over the average return of the S&P 500 and things like that. So absolutely, I think having a taxable brokerage account also helps you manage your liquidity. And I think one of the biggest problems with individual investors, especially when it comes time for them to send their kids to college and things like that, is they have liquidity crises within their households. So oftentimes you'll see people, having to bust their 401ks to pay for their kids' college tuition. However, if they had a taxable brokerage account where they could add to it and invest in stocks and things like that, and potentially some derivative products, they could then just take that out tax-free, or taxable, so pay taxes on it, in which case they don't have to bust their 401ks in order to pay for their college tuition for their kids. So I think it's very important, in conclusion, to have a taxable brokerage account to manage liquidity within your own environment. But that's just my opinion on it. Christian, how are you? JL says, Tom, aren't you involved in selling algorithms? Not anymore. Not anymore. Or not ever, actually. Never really involved in algorithms. If you do want to be involved in that, you could work at a place like a Two Sigma, or a Citadel or a Jump Trading. These are quantitative shops. So essentially they have big market making divisions on Wall Street, where many of them actually do payment for order flow. So broker dealers like Robinhood, the way they're able to offer free commissions to their clients is by something called payment for order flow, where they actually route your orders to market makers on Wall Street, where they collect a small commission off of the spread. And the spread is essentially the bid and the ask. It's the difference between the bid and the ask of a particular stock on the exchange. Hey, Aaron says, hello, my favorite. Penelope says, I'm an old gal. Most of us used to build our own computers back in the day. That's really interesting. Karina Thompson says, hello, Tom. What is up, Karina Thompson? JL, hope you're well, dude. Any plans for the weekend, JL? Charlie says, great diversification, Tom. I love that. What is up, Charlie Richardson? Good to see you, Charlie. Nicholas, thank you for joining. Nicholas says, is a hot dog a sandwich? I think you need to clarify what a hot dog is. Nicholas. Friendship Lights is here. What's up, Friendship Lights? NYC Cherry Guru says, Tom, may you conduct a stream on options basics? Yes, NYC Cherry Guru. So basically options are in the derivative market, right? They're derivative products. And I think in order to understand options, we need to thus define a derivative. So what is a derivative? A derivative is something that derives its value from an underlying asset. Right, so for example, in the options market, you have puts or calls, and call, let's say if you're gonna buy a call contract or an options contract of a call, you have the right but not the obligation to purchase 100 shares of that underlying security, right? So an options contract, again, if you're a buyer of options, you have the right but not the obligation to buy 100 underlying shares of that particular security. So options imply leverage, and that's what a derivative product is. So for every one options contract, it's the ability to control the equivalent of 100 shares of that underlying stock. It's the same thing for a put contract. A put is the right but not the obligation to sell 100 shares of that underlying stock. So oftentimes, a lot of newbie investors will say, oh, I want to, trade options because, I could make more money in theory because it has more leverage. I could buy one options contract of Apple and control 100 shares of Apple, and I don't have to lay out tens of thousands of dollars. But the problem is the vast majority of people don't understand the formula that goes in to pricing. Prince Charming says, what is the gate in front of you? This gate is just to keep people away from the monument, from vandalizing the monument. Lisa says, what is the arch? We are here at Washington Square Park. Irene Rivas is here. Hey, Rivas, how are you? Dog Video says, hello. What's up, Dog Video? Beautiful architecture here, everybody. Very beautiful. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully I explained it the best I could about what options are. Hey, This is Canada is here. What's up, This is Canada? Good to see you. Lisa, Prince Charming, Karina Thompson, the Swan, how are you? DN says, a Nathan's Coney Island dog is the only real official hot dog. PCDRNV says, hello from Las Vegas, Nevada. Christian says, Boar's Head is a decent brand of hot dog. I think Boar's Head is the original deli meats. Very, very good. Even I don't get what you're saying at all. Still watching you here. Maya. Dogman says, Wall Street Bets, Twitter, and TikTok teaching some bad habits and unrealistic expectations. Yeah, Dogman, I think I would have to agree. I think the vast majority of that stuff is total nonsense and should be avoided at all costs. But I mean, one thing that I realized in the financial community on social media is everybody is just out to get as many views as they can to generate. Oh, that was sick. He almost landed that a little bit. If he was going a little bit faster, he would have nailed that. But that was a phenomenal trick. Let's watch this guy do that again. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, what's going to get the most views? Talking about scrutinizing a balance sheet or a cash flow statement and paying attention to the company's earnings report, That was phenomenal too. Did I catch that on the screen? That was great what that kid did. Or you know, what's going to get more views? GameStop and AMC and Dogecoin to the moon, right? So I get it, I understand it, but that's just not the world that I'm from. It's just not the world that I'm used to. So I get it, everybody tries to have fun, but I think over the long term, it can definitely bring about some bad habits, I think. Penelope says, practice round. Annie says, did you bring your skateboard today? Not today, because I'm actually mailing it to Miami. But Annie, good to see you. FCV19 says, first year investing, 100% VTI, up $12,000 in 9 months. Well, congratulations, dude. That's awesome. That's phenomenal. Fantastic. Gene says, Wall Street skate bro, when you're not feeling worn out, you'll get your board out, Tom. Sounds good, Gene. I don't trust any new crypto or hot stock ever. Yeah, I mean, you know, I would just, me personally, I would stay away from things that lack fundamentals. That's just my opinion. That was awesome too. Wow, this is really making me want to jump on the skateboard. PCDRNV says, are you corny going on 50? Not sure what that means. Karina Thompson says, Mark, I'm doing good. My mother has a cold. She needs help. Oh, that's terrible. Well, I hope she feels better soon. I really, really hope she feels better soon. NYC Cherry Groove says, Tom, why not put skateboard stowed away on the plane? So NYC Cherry Groove, I thought about that, but everybody is so strict now. You're only allowed one carry-on item. So I'm afraid that they're going to confiscate it away from me, and I don't want the headache. Ooh, that was really good. He nailed that. Lucas says, hi, Tom. I just left Union Square like 2 hours ago. Lucas, that's awesome. I think I like Washington Square Park a little bit better than Union Square. However, Union Market every day. Gene, it's not because I'm tired. It's just because I'm going through a big move. But I will, and I've been wearing a suit to the city every day. I've been wearing a suit to the city almost every day. So close, but so far away. And he says, what's best strategies to look for stocks? The best strategies to identify stocks to buy, I think, are exceptional fundamentals. So if you look at the statistics over the long haul, the trajectory of a company's earnings, or EPS, or earnings per share, will follow the trajectory of the underlying stock price. So long and short of it is, if a company is growing their earnings quarter over quarter and year over year, 9 times out of 10, that stock will appreciate over time, so long as the health of the company's earnings are intact. Hey, Lady O, the one and only from New Jersey, says, hey, Tom, you're back in New York City. Yes, we are, Lady O. Indeed we are. This is Canada, says shirtless plus 20 skate bro skills. Dracula says, good evening, everybody. Dracula, good to see you. Penelope says, Tom, you need a Miami board and a New York City board. I thought about that, but I have yet to identify a good skate place in Miami. Sandra says, Queens, New York, just came across your video. Hey, Sandra, how are you? So we usually skateboard around New York City and Miami, and we usually have a specific defined topic 5 days a week in relation to the economy, the stock market, overall, and tech. So thank you for being here. Shout out to everybody from Queens. Maya says, I never see you shaking. Would you make some video? Oh, skating. Would you make some video? Yeah, we skate all the time, but just we haven't been skating for about a week because I've been moving. I've been in the middle of a move, which has been very stressful on me because I've been doing it all myself. Deanne says, are you able to visit Vanderbilt Tower observation deck sometime before you leave? I will probably do that next year. It probably won't be this year, Deanne, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. Ray Ray's After the Storm says, good evening, sunshine. Jamie Nunez says, hello from Austin, Texas. Big tech town in Austin, Texas. Sandra says, I love Miami. Lady O says, are you skateboarding tonight? No skateboarding tonight, Lady O, because I'm in my full business attire. I've been commuting from Long Island and I've been having business meetings in the city. So I've been leaving that at home because I really needed to focus to close some of these deals, because these will be significant revenue. So we'll take a little bit of a walk around Washington Square Park. We are here near New York University, East 8th Street. Nicholas is realistically, what can someone with sales experience make their first year at tech sales? So if you work for a reputable software company, or in like, let's say if you're in telecom sales or UCAS, you could probably, if you're an account executive, you could probably from $125,000 to $150,000 your first year as an account executive at a reputable software company. But some people make a lot more. You know, that's just with hitting 100% of your quota. If you hit more, you can do like $250,000. I think my best year, it was a hair under $250,000. My best year as a tech salesman. M Side says, Tom, did you tried Indian cuisine in New York City? You know, I think I have been to an Indian restaurant once on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And I believe it was on 76th Street in Amsterdam. I forget the name of the restaurant, but it was phenomenal. I think I had some sort of curry dish. I'm a big fan of Indian food. But yeah, tech sales in general is a very lucrative career, but again, it's not for everybody because it's very high stress if you're not hitting your quota, right? So in a sales position on the sales side, it's very quota driven and high pressure. So if you don't have a big book of business and you know you can't really handle the pressures, a lot of people don't perform well. But that's just within any job. You know, you could be in software development and you don't like the long hours of coding and sitting at your desk. So I think it just depends. I think it just depends on what you really. Yen 10 says so many people. What's up, Yen 10? Ken Kramer says Indian accent. Bro Tom, would you try the most popular boarding in Miami, aka surfboarding, for recreation? So I've thought about it and I've tried it, but I am not good at surfboarding at all. Textman81 says, when a programmer stole Goldman Sachs trading software years ago, a GS spokesman said he would be able to control markets. Are markets manipulated? I think by and large they're not manipulated. I think by and large they're not. Jamie Nunez says, are you going to be around in New York City during Christmas? I will be there for 8 days, December 24th to January 2nd. I will be in New York City because my family is here, so I will be here. Sally says, nice night in the park. Amina Ali says, can you say hi to me too? Hey, Amina Ali. Lady O says, oh, looking nice. Thank you, Lady O. Lady O is our good pal from New Jersey. NYC Cherry Grooves says, Tom, from a business perspective, is a marriage more on asset or liability over the long term? Is a marriage more an asset or liability? I mean, I think that really depends on who you marry. I mean, if you marry somebody that you go through a divorce and the assets are split up, it's a huge liability due to alimony payments and things like that. But if you find somebody that you really vibe with and you're on the same wavelength in terms of finances and business, it can be a serious financial hack, because now you have double the income to invest for the long term, to invest in assets that can produce income. And your net worth is probably going to go up 3 to 4 times more than a single person if you're both on the same page. Two Wheel Pines, there's a lot of people out there tonight. Accident 158 says, on what month cold season started, especially snow? I would say mid-January. It's when we usually regularly get snow in New York. Sally says the waterfall is still on. Nice. Yeah, the fountain is still on here in Washington Square Park here at NYU. So we'll do a lap around. Tom, would you say there are more people out in New York City or Miami at night? So it depends on where you are in both places. If you're in South Beach, I would say it's probably about the same if you're in South Beach. However, if you're in downtown Miami, like the Brickell, there's going to be a lot less people outside during the nighttime, in my opinion. It's not going to be anything like this in Miami unless you're in South Beach or some other places. And I'm not a big fan of South Beach, so we haven't been there yet on the channel. But a lot of people like South Beach. I'm just not a big party guy, so I've been there, but not recently. Hey, Roy S is here. So Roy, I did get your email, and I thank you so much for the kind words and the offer. Roy S is smiling now hearing Tom's assessment of marriage from finance point of view. This is Roy S. This Dacio says, I met Bai Ling there. I love wild wine. Poet 71 says, and rarely snows much before Christmas. It doesn't really get cold until mid-November. Linda says, marriage is a business. I mean, look, I think you should only get married if you're super certain that the person, that you share the same values as the person. Gene says, Wall Street Scaperoat. Good night, Tom and fellow chatters. See you in Brooklyn tomorrow. So hopefully we will be live in Brooklyn tomorrow. Yes, we will. Hopefully. Richard said, New York City for life. John Doe says, cool place. What's up, John Doe? Friendship Light says, good to know. Thanks, Tom. Sally says, yeah, Tom. Rebel Poet, long time no see. Karina Thompson. Gigi NYC says, I agree, divorce is not cheap. And I think it destroys a lot of families too. It adds unnecessary financial burden on families, divorce. So that's my take on it, but then again, who am I to judge? But that is my my thesis. Guys, we're gonna avoid the bad luck spot. They painted in chalk bad luck. I'm not falling for that trap. We're gonna go right around the bad luck spot. What do you think of that? Juan says, hello, Tom. What do you think of Shiba Inu coin? I would never buy that or put any real money in that, in my opinion. I think the vast majority of those things are scams. But that's just my take. Friendship Flight says, Tom, consider hitting Coney Island tomorrow. I don't think I've seen or been there on the channel yet, or on my channel. Maybe we'll go to Coney Island. I don't think I'll have the time to get out there because I have to do a ton of work in the morning. I have to send my desk all the way to Miami. But I don't know. I like Coney Island. We'll put that as tentative. So to be determined. To be determined. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. If we go to Brooklyn, we'll be in Greenpoint, Brooklyn tomorrow. Emily says, have you went to the 9/11 Memorial Museum? Yes, we have. Linda says, I'm very happily married, 25 years. Linda, that's phenomenal. Congratulations to you, and I wish you more success in your marriage, my friend. Considering putting 10% of my money in Tesla, the rest in VTI, says FCV19. Richard says, I'm going to subscribe. Much love, Wall Street Scaperoat. Hey, thank you so much, Richard. I appreciate it, and welcome to the channel. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Ken Kramer says, two things that financially ruin people are long-term illness and divorce. I would agree. Penelope says, I like to go where you take us, Tom. And so does hubby. We've been married 19 years, together for over 20. Well, Penelope, congratulations on that. I love when I hear happy stories like that. That's phenomenal. Friendship Light says, that's cool. It might be cold tomorrow to go there anyway, but maybe in the summer. Two Wheel Pine says, Tom, have you ever thought about doing some merch like shirts, stickers, etc., I definitely get some and rep it here in Denver. Hey, Two Wheel Pines, thank you. I appreciate the support, Two Wheel Pines. I really, really do. I have not thought about it, to be honest, but we'll see. I don't think I ever will. In all honesty, I don't think so. But you know, we'll see where life takes us. But thank you for the support. It really does mean a lot to me. Just everybody that's been watching and joining the stream. So I do appreciate it. Ian Morgan says hello from Scotland. Welcome, Ian Morgan from Scotland. We love Scotland. How many middle-aged people have lost all savings due to this pandemic? What does someone do at 45 if they have zero savings? Is there any hope to ever retire? This is Rebel Poet 71. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely tough. I mean, this pandemic has took a big shellacking on the middle class, and the only response from the government has been to print more money, which actually is very negative to middle class and lower class people, because all money printing does is cause inflation, and especially in asset prices, it causes asset price inflation. And if we look at the statistics, who owns the majority of the assets in America? It's the 1%. So the only thing money printing has caused is increase the disparity of wealth between the 1% and the bottom 99. So it's definitely tough, and I definitely feel for you. Two Wheel Pines, it sounds good. I'll be the first to purchase if you ever decide to. Thank you, Two Wheel Pines, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend, my friend. Nicholas says, do you live in Miami half the year and in New York the other? So Nicholas, I just moved to Miami about a week ago. So I will probably be back and forth between New York City and Miami, probably once a month. Depending on business. So everybody, this is the NYU School of Business, the Stern School of Business, where one of my favorite professors of all time teaches, Otswat Damodaran. Charlie Richardson says, Tom, do you have a Patreon? I do, but I never use it. I never ever use the Patreon. Linda says, my wish for everyone is to find a great partner in life. It's worth more than money, although money helps. I think that's very well put, Linda. That's phenomenal. Richard says, I'm out in Long Island, so I really miss the social aspect of New York, born and raised. Yeah, Richard, that's where I'm from, Long Island, Massapequa. Sally says, you're welcome, Tom. No problem. Ian, welcome from Scotland. This is the NYU Stern School of Business. Very famous business school here at NYU, 8th Street. And if anybody is interested in securities analysis, learning more about securities analysis, how to read a balance sheet, an income statement, a cash flow statement, check out our pal Damodaran. And I believe Sunshine After Rain posted a link to Otswat Damodaran's YouTube channel, where he actually posts some of his lectures for free. Hunter says, where's your skateboard, Tom? It is home. I've had business meetings all week, so I really need to focus on these meetings. So I couldn't bring the skateboard into New York. Caddy says, can't take money with you when you go. Amen. Oh, Richard's from Southampton. Hey, we got a Hamptonite in here. Very cool. Richard says, I love the American history out here. Amen. Joyce Carter says, it's a good evening to be in New York City. I agree. It's always a good evening to be in New York City. So let's walk towards Soho. We'll walk towards Soho. But for anybody in the chat that is interested in learning the proper way to analyze companies, because a lot of the times when it comes to the stock market, everybody's just looking for the hot tip or a pick or something crazy like that. And over the long term, that sort of investment thesis is not sustainable, right? What you want to do is you want to develop good, clean, solid, fundamental, sustainable habits in investing. So you want to follow the right people. So Damodaran is a professor of securities analysis here at NYU. And he will teach you how to actually evaluate companies the proper way. right? Deep securities analysis, financial analysis. So definitely check him out. And the majority of the work he puts out is free. So you're getting the same material that these kids pay $50,000 a year for to go to school here at NYU. Juan Vegas says, Tom, thank you for your opinion on crypto. If in fact it is a scam, shouldn't the government have already intervened? So let me clarify. I don't think cryptocurrency is a scam. I'm invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum. All of the other alternative coins are fraudulent, and I think they're a way to launder money, and I think there's a lot of bad characters running something that's called a pump and dump scheme, where they create a lot of hype and a lot of noise around a particular coin. They have everybody buy it, in which case they sell and leave everybody holding the bag, right? So I think there's a lot of nefarious activity going on there. So I would stay away from it. But in my opinion, I could just tell you what I do personally. I can't advise on anything, but I am long Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I would never touch anything else. Hey, Tony Cortez says, what's up? Sunshine after rain. Good to have you here, Tony Cortez. Sally says, nice art. Richard says, you have an amazing advice on the market. You give pro advice, and basically everyone should know, says Richard. Thank you, Richard. Yeah, I mean, the point of the channel is just to drive home the point about, it's not about, going on a Reddit message board and looking at the next hot stock tip or pick or the next hottest cryptocurrency. Because as you'll find over time, people work hard for their money, and you just don't want to throw your money away at a gamble, right? You want to know and be competent about what you're investing in, and that requires work. It does. It requires work. But a lot of people aren't interested in doing the work. They're just interested in picks and tips, and so they'll go on TikTok or something and listen to whatever other people are buying or selling. I think it's refreshing to have an independent thought process on things. I love this scaffolding here in Soho. Charlie says, Tom, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, Charlie. ¿Y tú? Muy bien, ¿y tú? The Swan, how are you? This is Canada, says Tom Coin. Hilarious, hilarious. Sally says, nice art. Grab a slice of za for the chat, says Nicholas. This is Canada, says business bro. Hey, Letty Munoz says, hola Tom, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás, Letty? Very good to see you. Always good to see you, Letty. Hope you're well. Joyce Carter says, Long Island. Long Island in the house. What's up, Joyce? We are here near NYU, New York University, on East 4th Street and Lafayette Street. And down here is Soho. So maybe we'll take a quick lap around Soho. NYC Cherry Group says, silence in the city is priceless. Lisa says, The Privileged Planet is one of the best books I've ever read. Privileged Planet. I'll have to take a look at it. We got a lot of Long Islanders here. Nicholas says, I don't like buying stocks. I like buying and selling the futures receivables of small businesses. This is Nicholas. M. Son says, Tom, I invested in U.S. cybersecurity SaaS company. How's future prospects of the cybersecurity SaaS market? It has an exponential growing TAM. So I think, which company specifically? Maybe I know it. Is it a Long Island? It is a Long Island. How's Miami treating you? Miami's treating me very good, Jordan, and I'm happy to see you. Penelope says, your opinions mean a lot. I've learned so much here, and you are a gem. Penelope, you are a gem. You are the gem. Richard says, Long Island was key for us to take back New York. Sylvia says, can you create a senior-friendly computer with minimal options? My elderly grandmother is having a hard time. So Sylvia, do I want to disclose that? I actually have a friend that's working on a startup, mainly in the medical device space, but the answer is yes. People are actually working on that. Sort of like the phone. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with the phone that's called the Jitterbug, which is essentially a phone for elderly people, but there are startups working on basic computers for elderly people. Oh, M-Sign says Mimecast, M-I-M-E. Okay, I know about it. Hey, Jody says hello from Arizona. Hey, Jody. Good to have you here. Obama says, I like to collect Sol Lewitt and Peter Max. Jody, how is everything in Arizona? But M-Sign, I have heard of Mimecast. So we'll head down, should we head further down Lafayette? You know, we'll go a little bit further down Lafayette Street for you guys. Could anybody give me a quick time check in the chat? Lady O says, I got my grandma a Jitterbug when she was alive. She loved it. It felt part of society. Yeah, Lady O. I mean, I think within the geriatric space, I think there's a lot of runway for markets and solutions for elderly folks who want to stay connected with their family members, especially if they're in like an old age home or something like that. So there's definitely startups in the works that I actually know of right here in New York City that are working on these types of solutions. So more to come. Ken Kramer says 1046. 1046, Ken Kramer, 10-4. Would you ever consider grabbing a slice of pizza for the chat? And if you would, what kind? I'd probably get a spicy pepperoni slice at Prince Street. Hey, Jonathan says, hi, Tom. Hope you were able to close some deals this week. Jonathan, yes, I actually was. I had an outstanding invoice for about 2 months. We just closed it with this digital advertising company. I think I've talked about it before on the stream. Once this deal rolls out really big, I actually have to go to Austin, Texas to do the deal and meet these guys. So I think I'm actually going to do a stream from there once this gets out to a lot of units, and I'm going to show you guys the deal. So when you go to your local grocery stores, you'll actually see the product there. I can't really go into too much more detail because of NDA stuff, but it's a very, very interesting startup and a good concept. Grab a cookie at Levian. This is Ken Kramer. Joyce Carter, good to have you here. But Jonathan Richards, happy Friday, my friend. Would you ever retire before the age of 50, says Black Angel? No, I would not. I'm like, the way I'm wired, if I have more than a day off, and I just need to be doing something. So I'll probably be working until, you know, I die. Or else I figure out I have no purpose. I need to be working, I need to be doing something all the time. It's like I have an anxiety about that. And some sort of like pent up guilt if I'm not being productive. I don't know why, but I've just always been like that. So here we are in Soho, and we are across the street from the Kith store. But for anybody who is joining, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed at an all-time record high today. The S&P 500 hit all-time record highs this week, closing at an all-time record high on a weekly close, and I still suspect the NASDAQ to follow suit before the end of the year with another all-time record high. Next week, everybody, it will be another busy week on Wall Street. You know, this week we had Tesla reporting earnings, we had Intel, we had pretty much all the major semis report. The week before that, we had all the major financials like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, Morgan Stanley, and earnings came back better than expected. And next week, I believe we have Apple and all the big heavy hitter tech companies. So it'll be extremely interesting to see those results. Yes, Ken Kramer and AMD reports on Tuesday. Lady O says, how late are you streaming tonight? I'm not too sure, Lady O. I don't really have a set time. But maybe a couple more minutes. Maybe just a couple more minutes, Lady O. So, Lady O, I've been down in Miami, Florida, and I've found some phenomenal coffee shops. That anytime you're in Miami, Lady O, you're going to love these places. One of them is called The Alchemist. It's right there in North Miami Beach. It's arguably I've ever tried in my life. Very Cuban style. I'm not sure if you like Cuban style coffee, but it's phenomenal. You're gonna love it. Ed says, funny how the current president doesn't brag about the stock market, says Ed. Nicholas says, how many millions do you have in your bank account and how many feet is your yacht? I don't have millions in my bank account and I do not have a yacht. I get very, very seasick when I'm on boats. So I do not like boats. But this is a cool truck right here. Phenomenal. Vern says, trust me, by the time you're 50, you'll change your mind about retirement, says Vern. I hope not. Walk by Kit's store and show us inside, says Nicholas. We will. Roy S says, are you going to make a list of your favorite coffee places in Miami? Yes. Roy, I definitely will. Lady O says, yes, Cuban coffee is delicious. So Lady O, if you Google this place called The Alchemist, if you Google Alchemist North Miami Beach, you'll see the place. It is crazy inside. Beautiful inside, but the coffee is really, really good. So speaking of coffee, this is one of my favorite coffee places here in New York City. It's called Gasoline Alley Coffee right here in Soho. Hey, the Brooklyn Girl is here. What's up, Brooklyn Girl? Says, hey, everybody. Happy Friday, Brooklyn Girl, and I hope that you have a phenomenal weekend. Ralph says, oh, snap, you already back in New York? Yes, I will be back in New York until Monday, in which case I'm going to fly back to Miami, and then I have to fly right back to New York for another business meeting on Wednesday, and then I'm flying back Wednesday night to Miami. So really, really crazy stuff, but things are opening back up and people want to do business, so I need to be here. Richard says, great coffee. Brooklyn Girl says, thank you. Hey, the one and only Techno Pink. Techno Pink is from the Dominican Republic, and he works at a consulting firm, EY, or Ernst & Young. So what is up, Techno Pink? Jonathan Richards says, I love how you say coffee. Here in North Carolina, people say Calfee. Calfee. Very interesting. Didn't know that. Richard says, take care, chat, and Wall Street brother. Have a safe Friday night. Hey, Richard, thank you, man. I appreciate that, and I hope you have a great time out on Long Island this weekend. Thank you for being here. Sunshine says, wow, looks like you will be busy time. Yes, we will be extremely busy, but I'm excited because next week I have a lot of people coming on the house to do some work, so hopefully we will be all set. Black Angel says, do you have an apartment yet? Not in the city, but I do have a place in Miami. Cal Fee. Interesting they say it like that. Maya says, oh, you fly a lot. Don't you get sick of it? I actually don't fly very much at all. However, I think I'm going to start to fly a lot. A lot. GGNYC, what's going on? Techno Pink, God bless you too. Gasoline Alley, yes, Gasoline Alley Coffee right there, amazing. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any comments, everybody. Richard says, it's been awesome, Skate Bro. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of you too. I'm a big fan of you too. Penelope says, the count, undead, undead, undead. Sorry, Boo-Ha's reference. This is Penelope. So, wait, Penelope, I was going to ask you, I always meant to ask you this. You always say you're coming from, what was the Grand Ole Opry? And I heard somebody in an office building this week talking about, hey, I'm going to Tennessee and we're going to the Grand Ole Opry. What is the Grand Ole Opry? And I'm sorry if I sound ignorant, but I have no idea what that is. And when the guy said it, I was like, oh my God, I've heard that somewhere before. And I'm like, oh, that's right. Penelope on the stream talks about it all the time. Techno Pink says, be safe, bro. Thank you, Techno Pink. You too. Lady O says, you're flying a lot. Can you write some of these flights off since it's all business related? Yes, 100%. I write it off 100%. Legally, I think you can write airfare off at 70% or 50%, I think. Obama says, YouTube Jordan Cash's channel for apartments. I will have to do that. Let me take a screenshot of that. Zap Allen says, oh my God, Loretta Lynn. Lady O says, Grand Ole Opry is a country performing venue. Penelope says, the birthplace of country music on the radio. I didn't know that. That's phenomenal. I'm not a big fan of country music, but I would love to visit. I've never seen anything like that in my life. Hey, Marcelo, that's my CEO's old name, my old CEO's name. Says, hey Tom, how's it going? Nice night in New York City. Say hello to Brazil. Welcome everybody in Brazil. Sandra says, my favorite place in Miami is Fontainebleau. Love to stay there on business trips. Yes, Sandra, it's beautiful down there. So one of my favorite places in Southern Florida now is Sunny Isles Beach, Florida. It's very close to where my house is. So it's probably, so from my house, it's 2.5 miles to the ocean, to Sunny Isles Beach. So pretty close, not bad. Best place to get pastrami in the city, right down here at Katz's Deli. Yeah, so speaking of good pastrami, if you walk straight down here towards Delancey Street, you'll go to Katz's Deli. Katz's Deli is phenomenal for pastrami. There's actually also a good place in Long Beach too. Excuse me, but that's on Long Island. Excuse me, that's on Long Island. So there's a good place in Long Beach for pastrami. Karina Thompson, how are you? The Swan says, I'm a country and Western music maniac. Well, the Swan, you're gonna have to come to the Grand Ole Opry with our pal Penelope. What do you think? So this is one of my favorite coffee shops. This is the other side of Gasoline Alley Coffee. Very good hole-in-the-wall type place here. Lady O says, New York's only country station is 94.7 FM, ended today. Is that true? I didn't know about that. So we're gonna cross the old street here to avoid the derelicts. That's one thing we do, is keep our head on a swivel to avoid the freaks. Jonathan Richards says, Grand Ole Opry is legendary. My dad, whoa, dude, your dad sang there in 1964. That's phenomenal, man. That's really cool. Wow. I'm gonna have to YouTube that Grand Ole Opry. So now we are on Bleecker Street and Mulberry Street. I Reva says, I like country music and bluegrass music as well. Hey, Chinese TikTok videos is crazy people. Hello, Chinese TikTok videos. Zap Allen says, I love Loretta Lynn. Loretta Lynn. Karina Thompson, how are you? Obama says, Long Beach, Long Island is beautiful. Said so, Katz's Deli is the best. Bless you. Yes, Maya. Indeed. M. Sai says, I see no one in New York City wearing masks. So a lot of people, we do wear masks inside, but I mean, if you're outside, you know, you really don't need a mask. But if you think about it, the vaccination rates in New York is, I think, close to 90% now. So it's really irrelevant if we wear it or not. Black Angel says, do you like flavored coffee or iced coffee? I do occasionally, but no sugar. I don't really like sugar in it because for some reason too much sugar gives me a headache. So I don't think I would ever, I can't really put sugar in coffee. Wow, that dog is beautiful. My sister has one of those. Those are amazing. Textman81 says, a lot of folks are 3 paychecks away from being derelict. Well, I mean, I think you have to, I mean, I think 3 paychecks away from being maybe homeless, but I think derelict is more to me, a derelict in like a New York term means a person who is not, I guess, ethically correct and not only financially. So I think those two are potentially incongruous. War Walker says Tom's like, who's Loretta Lynn? I don't know who Loretta Lynn is. Marty Lewis says Ken Burns made a great documentary about country music for PBS a few years ago. Let me take a screenshot of that. I'm gonna have to check that out. Penelope says the Carter and Cash family are royalty. Let's go Astros, says Cosmo. Linda says, I think we've reached herd immunity in New York. I just think the majority of people are vaccinated here, so I don't think it matters. The ABX girl says Loretta Lynn is a country music star. Nicholas says, why are you looking for an apartment in New York City if you are living in Miami? Why not just use Airbnb? Mainly due to tax reasons. Just due to tax reasons. I can't really get into. I explained it. I guess I'll explain it. It's just due to tax reasons. The business is set up in Miami, and I need a place to live when I'm here, and it may be very volatile depending on the times I'm in Miami. You know, maybe I rent out the entire place in Miami, maybe I don't. So I do need a place in New York, but it's not going to be a primary residence, and I need a place to keep my client's documentation, and I can't really be lugging that around between New York City and Miami, Florida. Obama says, I like to wake up and see 10K print on my wall. Caddy says, Letter in Coal Miner's Daughter is a good movie, shows her life. He's only 26, he's a newbie to the planet, says War Walker. Very interesting. Hey Faith, thank you so much for the $25 super chat, Faith. Much appreciated. Thank you everybody who's been supporting the channel. I do appreciate that very, very much.
New York City!
Yeah, a lot of people seem to be excited to be back in New York. That's fantastic. Jordan says, hey, I'd be interested in renting your place in Miami. Is that possible? It's tentative, Jordan, because right now I do have a couple liabilities in the backyard that need attending to. So to be determined. To be determined. So this is the Kits store. Hey, we have the one and only Disney cast member, my fellow Long Island pal. How are you, Disney? Happy Friday, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Disney cast member says, not everybody listens to country music. What about you, Disney? Henrique says, hi, Tom. Good night. What's up, Henrique? Jonathan Richards says, the Ken Burns PBS documentary is phenomenal. I'm going to have to check that out. Jonathan Richards. Swan says, people get excited when they see skateboarder. Zap Balance says, you like the hats. What about this hat? What about this hat? What do you think about this one? No Fluffy Business says, as a former black hat, this guy is quick. Says no fluffy business. Obama says, sorry you missed the 1980s. Disney cast member says, doing well. No, not a fan of country music. Hey, the one and only Mighty Bull says, greetings. Time, good evening. What's going on? Greetings, the Mighty Bull. Photos from around New York says, Tom, Faith gave a super chat. Yes, I did see that. Faith, thank you so much. I appreciate it. The support. Really, really do appreciate it, Faith, for the $25 super chat. I appreciate everybody that's been supporting the channel, especially Faith. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. These things are pretty cool, whatever these are. So this is the Kith store in New York City. Marty Lewis says there was a movie about Patsy Cline many years back as well. I'm not sure who any of these people are, but I'm gonna have to do my research. Hey, Sunshine New York is here now. What's up, Sunshine New York? Happy Friday. I know Sunshine has been working extremely hard, and she said she was exhausted on one of the other streams. So hopefully you have some time to take it easy this weekend, Sunshine New York. Sunshine New York is one of our great moderators on the stream. Thank you for being here, Sunshine. What do you think about this one? This one is pretty cool. Brillo soap pads. This one is cool too. What is this one called? This is like a famous art piece. I'm not sure what it's actually called though. Does anybody know what this is called? The Mighty Bull says happy Friday, everybody. Greetings to moderators. Thank you, the Mighty Bull. Hope you're well. Sunshine New York says yes, it is so needed. Thank you, Tom. No problem, Sunshine. Yes, GGMYC. Check this out. This bear, it looks like sort of like a Lego guy. Brillo 24 giant packages. Very cool. Jolie says Kith Brick Bear. Kith Brick Bear. They're cool. I like them. Sunshine Hefter Rain says they're cute though. Oh, okay. Yes, I think you're right. Photos from around New York. It's the one of them. The one on the right is an Andy Warhol collaboration with all those guys going all around. Artist is Cause. Oh, is it Cause? I'm very familiar with him, but I didn't know that was his work. Tom looks like Keith Harding Art. Very interesting. Bear Bricks is what they're called. Any companies researching robotics you would invest in? So one company that is they have a robotics department. They're in the robotics business. If you want to check out Lincoln Electric, this isn't saying buy the stock or anything, but the ticker symbol is LECO. Lincoln Electric is developing robotics for warehouses. And it's a very good company fundamental wise, but very interesting what they're doing there. A lot of very cool R&D projects. Lincoln Electric.
I thought it looked so funny when I saw the carve-out. It looked so pretty on that picture. You like it?
But a very cool company is called Boston Dynamics, if you've ever heard of it. Boston Dynamics. Jolie is here. How are you, Jolie? Hope you're well. Is Rolex a good high liquid asset to buy if you want a wearable asset? I'm not a big watch guy, but I do have friends in the city that are big watch collectors. One of my buddies spends his entire bonus every year on like the new Rolex, and he collects them. I don't really know anything about it, so I can't really advise on it, but I would say in terms of order of liquidity, a watch is probably not obviously as liquid than like securities like stocks, right? And hard assets, they're not as liquid, right? So one of the things that we'll see when we are scrutinizing, like the balance sheet of a lot of these companies, we have to remember that the balance sheet is in order of liquidity, right? So that's like finance 101. Everybody learns that when you're looking at a company's balance sheet, it's in order of liquidity. So you'll see, cash and equivalents. Cash and equivalents is like cash the company has, right? So cash and equivalents is very liquid because it's cash, right? And then, further down the list, you have like property, plant, and equipment. So maybe the company owns a factory or something like that. Those assets have value, right? But they're not liquid. So it's an order of liquidity, the balance sheet. So you have your assets on one side and the liabilities on the other, and it's always in order of liquidity, starting with cash and equivalents. And it's essentially how fast can you sell something, right? So let's say in your own personal life, you have a bank account, maybe your checking account, you have cash in there. That's going to be the most liquid. Maybe you own a house. The house is not very liquid, right? Because it takes a lot longer to sell a house than it does to log into your brokerage account and sell a share of Apple. And that's why over the long term, people tend to always make money on their house because they can't panic sell their house, right? But they can log in 2 seconds and panic sell all of their stocks, right? So that's why real estate tends to be a better investment, because it's more difficult for people to actually sell it. Pretty interesting piece of information, but it's true. Hey, we got JD Fisher in here. What's up, JD Fisher? Penelope says gold. Obama says old timers woke up and accounts went to zero. Yes, photos from around New York. I think it's Astor Place Liquors. Is that true? Lady O's is interesting. Techno Pink, how are you? George says, good evening, Tom and everybody. Hope you had a great week. TGIF. Thank you, George. TGIF is right. Glad it is Friday. Yeah, so there was a big study out on individual investors. And the reason why the average investor, the average person, tends to make money on their house is because a house is less liquid than stocks. So the vast majority of people do not make money in the stock market because they tend to constantly buy and sell their stocks, so turn over their accounts. So whenever we have a red day in the market, people get scared and they'll sell their stocks. But if there's a downturn in the housing market, it's kind of hard just to sell your house in one day, right? So it's not very liquid. That's called liquidity. It's very difficult to sell that in 1 second. So people tend to make money on their primary residences because it's very difficult for them to sell them. So they tend to hold on to them for a long time. I think the average person holds on to their house for 8 years or more. Hey, Chaudhry Ali says, hi, Tom. Good to see you back. Thank you so much. Good to have you here. What time you usually go to bed? It's late. Did you get tired? I'm a little bit tired. Not too bad. Photos from around New York says, yup, they have some really hard to find bottles there. Good idea for Christmas gifts. Very cool. Two Wheel Pine says, do people's dogs in New York tend to be small because of the smaller apartments? Yes. Disney cast member said, I wish I could panic sell my house. Hilarious Disney cast member. Yeah, Disney, you've been trying to sell that house for a long time, right? I remember you've been talking about it for a while now. Hey, Tech Explorers NYC says, and unless you move to cheaper places, you would have to buy from the same appreciated neighborhood. Very interesting, Tech Explorers NYC. Very good observation. Hope you're well, Tech Explorers NYC. Joyce Carter says, great live stream in New York City with everybody. I appreciate everybody being here. 80 Trees says, guess it's worth having a vice in material collection.
I think when you visited and
This is Trees. Tech Explorers NYC says, but if you sell your primary residence, you have no place to live now. Indeed. And I think that's what's even adding Tech Explorers NYC to the housing shortage that we have. Because even though, let's say, people made double their money on their primary residence, exactly what Tech Explorers NYC said. If you sell your house, where are you going to go? You have to live somewhere. So they're just going to go and buy, a house for $1 million, right? So people are actually choosing not to sell their homes. So it's creating a housing shortage in the United States. Zap Balances, that looks like a nice Starbucks coffee. It is a pretty good place. They completely remodeled it on the inside. It used to be disgusting on the inside, but it is now since remodeled. Linda says, a new house, new taxes. So this is the IBM Watson building. So if anybody's familiar with IBM Watson, they are right in here. Tech Explorers NYC says, I spent 3 weeks away from YouTube. Now I'm Security Plus certified and back to hanging out on live streams and making my own videos. Tech Explorers NYC, that's awesome, man. Congratulations on your success. That is phenomenal. Congratulations. Could we get a quick time check in the chat? I just want to make sure I'm not going to miss my train. Penelope says the north is moving to the south in droves. Here, I'll show you guys the Watson building, IBM Watson. Even though I think IBM Watson is a poor product, I was actually going to be an enterprise account executive for IBM Watson selling into the healthcare space. But that deal fell through. At 51 Astor Place. Appreciate the time check, everybody. 11:14. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna head back uptown. We're gonna head back to the Moynihan train station. My phone is on 15% battery, so it may die. So thank you for joining, but I will stream until the phone dies. But if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to the channel if you like this sort of content. We tend to skateboard around New York City and Miami and talk about finance and technology. So if you want to be a part of it, feel free to subscribe. Joyce says, hi to all the friends in Austin. What's up, Austin, Texas? DJ Fisher says, anyone got a tip for me to try my sprained ankle? It hurt in basketball. DJ, I hope you get better soon. You got to ice that. I'm in the south and moving north when I retire. Very cool. Where are you moving to? Sally says, you're welcome, Tom. Sally, hope you're enjoying your Friday night. Any plans for the weekend, Sally? You just sort of chilling out? Check out the full moon, everybody. New York City or Hudson County? Hey, nice, man. You're gonna love New York. Joyce Carter says, awesome Friday night. It is a great Friday night in New York City today. Brandy says, I enjoyed the small explanation of balance sheet and liquidity, why real estate is usually a good investment due to delayed liquidity. Yeah, I mean, so I think it's an interesting statistic, Brandy. And so I don't think that, it's not that the performance of the asset is better, it's just because it goes against human emotion, right? So there's also been studies that the best investors are actually people that are dead, because dead people can't sell their stocks when there's a crash or something like that. So it's very interesting that people tend to, by and large, make money on real estate because it's very hard for them to panic sell their real estate. Because think about it, you know, you have to put it on the market, people have to come and see the real estate, people have to make an offer, and that can take weeks. You know, and after a couple weeks go by, after a month goes by, maybe you're like, the hell with it, I don't want to move anymore, and then you stay in your house, right? And then over time, the house appreciates in value over 8 to 10 years. So that's really why a lot of people tend to make money in real estate. The Mighty Bull says, what are your thoughts on inside trading in the White House? If you're referring to Congress people, I don't think that members of Congress should be allowed to actively trade securities. I think they should be able to invest in passive investments, but I don't believe that they should be able to trade individual stocks. I do not believe so, because they're setting the policies that can benefit or negatively impact companies. So therefore, you know, you're essentially trading off of inside information. So that's my take. I don't think they should be able to trade individual names. I believe that they should be able to have passive investments. Tech Explorers NYC says, real estate deals can fall through a lot. I lost 2 deals because the other side doesn't like my lawyer/bank. You're right. You're right. Brandy says, exactly, Tom, my bad. Did not mean to write that. No, Brandy, no, you're right. I think it's just really interesting. I think it's a really interesting conversation and a really interesting topic. So I think you're right. I think you're spot on. Penelope says, send him to the slammer. Tech Explorers NYC says, Jimmy Carter had to sell his peanut farm talked about how times have changed. Trevor says, you mean buying Tesla before passing the green energy bills? Yeah, and also there was members of Congress that were buying call options on cybersecurity companies before the Biden administration passed the infrastructure bill that added billions of more dollars to be allocated towards cybersecurity spending. So that is an example of insider trading, in my opinion. So I do not believe that Congress people should be able to trade individual securities, but that's just my opinion. Mr. John says, as Milton Friedman said, legalize insider trading, problem solved. Milton Friedman is arguably one of the greatest economists that ever lived. And that's going to get me in a lot of trouble because, look, a lot of people tend to believe in Milton Friedman and his ideology, and other people tend to believe in more Keynesian style of economics. So if anybody doesn't know what that is, you could think about John Maynard Keynes. And he's really all about central banking, easy monetary policy, big government spending, things like that. So it's called Keynesian economics. I won't say which one is necessarily right or wrong. I tend to lean towards, free markets, free market capitalism, Milton Friedman. But I do see John Maynard Keynes' points in some ways. Yeah, lost in the curve, I agree. It says usually if you're not downsizing, it's harder to find a better deal. Sunshine New York says Tom is dropping the jewels here, guys. What's up, Sunshine New York? Always good to have you here. Ireva says, have you invested in SPAC, Trump social media? I heard it went up crazy. No, I have not. So a SPAC is an acronym for a special purpose acquisition company. And we were talking about that a little bit on the stream today. But essentially, if we think about a traditional IPO, essentially it stands for initial public offering. And if we think holistically about what an IPO is, it's the transfer of ownership from the private market. So you think about private equity, you think about the owners of the company, VC firms, the transfer of ownership of those shares of the company to the public markets. So you could think about an individual investor like me and you. You could think about, hedge funds, mutual funds, institutional investors, and things like that. And that is an initial public offering. However, when you have a special purpose acquisition company, it's sort of like the reverse of an IPO, right? They raise a bunch of money first, and then they find the target acquisition company to invest in and bring public. So it's sort of like the reverse. An IPO, you have an actual sustained company, it's up and running, and then they have to find investors to raise money to take into the public markets. But a SPAC, a special purpose acquisition company, they create a shell company, raise a bunch of money, and then try to identify the target acquisition company. So I think it's a little bit frothy. I would never invest in any of these SPACs. I think by and large, it's just another way for these investment bankers to make insane amounts of money in fees and essentially just become even more richer than they already are. I'm not saying all SPACs are bad. I'm not saying that. I just think that right now, the SPAC environment is very frothy. I think there will be some SPACs that do exceptionally well, but I think by and large, I think at least for now, I would stay away from it. No, I mean, Zap Allen, so essentially a SPAC is, like, for example, I think Trump wants to create a social media platform or something. I haven't really looked into it too much, but essentially you create a shell company, right? So there's a shell company, and then the SPAC will have a ticker symbol, and then a lot of the times we'll be like, hey, we haven't found the company that we want to acquire yet. So if the deal doesn't get done by the time it's supposed to go public, the money is then returned to the original investors. That's sort of the way that works. But for me, look, I'm not saying, I can only say what I do personally. So, you know, maybe there's going to be people that make a lot of money with SPACs, and there is currently, but for me, I'm just staying away from it. Hey, Raise XRP says, but Ripple's the one to court, make it make sense. Joyce Carter, how are you? Tech Explorers NYC says, I did not know the deadline part until you mentioned it. Yeah, so if they don't find the acquisition company at the specified time, the money is then returned to investors. That is how a SPAC works. Sunshine, I mean, Irevis, it sounds crooked. It's not that it's crooked, it's just, you know, really, I think, so SPACs have been around for a long time, but it's really come around again by an investor named Bill Ackman. Bill Ackman has launched many successful SPACs, but really, I think it's a lucrative way for these hedge funds and bankers to make a killing very fast. One of them being Chamath. Not sure if anybody's familiar with Chamath, but maybe I'll do a whole stream on SPACs, and we'll do a deep dive about how they're structured, you know, the valuation multiples and things like that. Jason Lynn, how are you, Jason Lynn? Hey, Jessica Santiago says, hey, Tom, long time. Jessica, happy Friday. Hello, New York says Rangwall. Jason Lynn says, have you saw Puneware this morning? Not sure what that is. Daniel G says, good evening, Tom, and good evening, everybody. Daniel G is our pal from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Maya says, good night, get home safe. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Mark Davis, I will check it out. Joyce Carter says, the Big Apple, almost near Times Square. We are a little bit far away from Times Square, but we're getting there. We are getting there. Penelope says, oh, I just noticed your sound is moving left to right on the speakers when you move left to right. Yeah, sometimes when I cross the street or I'm not talking directly into the camera, you'll see the sound is moving in and out, so I apologize. Allison says, hey man, I'm seeing it for the first time. Hey, welcome to the stream. I hope you're well. Thank you for joining for the first time. We're happy to have you here. We are at 14th Street, Union Square. And today we were talking about how the Dow Jones Industrial Average hit new all-time record highs. As we talked about in the Behind the Street newsletter you can find on my YouTube community page, the S&P 500 had a record weekly close, and the NASDAQ is lagging the markets a little bit. And then we went into SPACs, or special purpose acquisition companies. We were talking about that. And then we were also talking about the Federal Reserve and their lackadaisical monetary policies, and their potential for tapering, which I don't think they will do a taper, and I think that they're going to continue to keep interest rates artificially suppressed. It doesn't matter what Jerome Powell says. As Paul Tudor Jones always says, pay attention to what the Federal Reserve is actually doing, not what they're just saying. No, I did not go to NYU. I went to John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Penelope says, no need to apologize, just an observation. Sunshine After Rain says, Tom, no ticker symbol on Friday. Ticker symbol for which stock? Bottomless Coffee says, which financial news do you read daily? So I read Investors Business Daily. That is the best newspaper ever. I think they have some of the best analysts on Wall Street and some of the best journalists on Wall Street. It's called Investors Business Daily, IBD. And then every Saturday and Sunday, I get Barron's, Barrons, Barron's. And it's actually funny because if we think about Rupert Murdoch and News Corp, News Corporation owns Fox News, which owns Wall Street Journal, which owns Barron's, which actually just made an acquisition of Investors Business Daily for $250 million. And Investors Business Daily was actually founded by a man named William J. O'Neill. And William J. O'Neill is arguably one of the most successful size position traders of all time. And they founded the company Investors Business Daily and O'Neill Securities in California. Mr. Cold is here. What's up, Mr. Cold? Good to see you. Are prescription drugs necessary for fighting health issues? I mean, you could go without it, but it might be good. I can't really comment on that. I'm not a medical expert. I apologize. The ABX girl says, so they own almost all the financial papers. Yes. Yes, they do. Do you read Morningstar? I don't. Annette Jane says, rogue stockbrokers stalk the streets of Gotham at night. I like that one. That's cool. Christian says, I subscribed to Barron's back in the day. Hey, Out and About is here. What's up, Out and About? Good to have you. Sunshine New York says, this area has underground markets in buildings for sneakers, boots like Nike, Timberlands. I did not know that. That's actually pretty cool, Sunshine. Hello from Maine, says Scott Ward. Good evening, Scott. The ABX girl says, Bloomberg News is cool. I read that one. Oh, the ABX girl. I'm so glad you brought Bloomberg up. So, I don't know what I was doing, but I was so bored one night, and I shouldn't have been bored because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go on SEC.gov and start going through all the financials of Johnson & Johnson. So I was reading so many financial statements of Johnson & Johnson, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do some research into the company Johnson & Johnson and its founders. I have no idea why. I was just bored one night. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I come across one of the, I think it was like the great grandson of the founder who actually created Johnson & Johnson. And I think his name was Julian or Justin Johnson, I believe. And this kid, so random, he made a documentary. And I forget the name, but you guys have to watch it. It is the most dystopian, crazy thing ever I've ever seen in my life. And Ivanka Trump is in it, and all of these billionaire rich kids. And essentially, this kid is like, look, I was born into wealth. I don't really have to do anything. My father never had to work at all for a living. And we were worth like $20 billion. So he went to high school here in New York City and middle school with Ivanka Trump and all these other like global elites. And he did a documentary about the life of these people who were just born into billions of dollars. And he's like, the majority of them are extremely, extremely unhappy. And the main theme of the interview was humans are made to work and create and to have a sense of pride. So when you're handed everything and you really don't have to work for anything and you're just handed a pile of cash and born into billions, you feel no sense of purpose. You feel no sense of self-worth because humans are made to struggle. Humans are made to create and to build things. So these very high net worth individuals that didn't actually do anything to build these companies, they're suffering extremely from depression, they're narcissists. And I'm not saying that all rich people are like that. What I'm saying is, if you are one of the global elites, that you're born into a billion-dollar family, it's very difficult on the kids because you really don't have that sense of struggle or sense of accomplishment that you've done something on your own. So try to look up that documentary. It probably would help if I know rich. So try to Google that. Let me read the comments. Do I have an Equinox membership? No, I would never spend money on that. Fisher Investments just sent me advertisements. You must have a very high net worth. George says, Tom, your thank you note for 5K. Your thank you note for 5K is beautiful. You are a great, intelligent, and humble guy. Sorry, the comments are ripping by so fast, I'm losing all the comments. But thank you, George. I appreciate that. We can see you're a great guy at heart. Thank you for your effort into the channel. Thank you so much. Leah79, how are you? Woody Johnson owns the New York Jets, says Obama. Out and About says, Wall Street Skate Bro, you are so passionate in what you do. I can hear it in your voice. Thank you, Out and About. Mark Davis says, that's a good one, Tom. J&J, we are doing work with them for medical education. It's phenomenal. Zap Allen says, yeah, I saw that one, Tom. Tech Explorers NYC says, I think I saw something similar. Rich hairs exposing their class. Yeah, so if, you know what? I would look up, type in Born Rich. And one of the people that was actually in the documentary was trying to sue this kid, Justin Johnson. But he's like, I don't care because I have billions of dollars to fight this kid. And he did, and he fought him and he won, and the documentary was released. But it's on YouTube, so type in Born Rich. I think it's a 40-minute documentary. You're gonna get hooked on this thing because it's so fascinating. This kid, and I believe his name is Justin. And he said, this kid, Justin Johnson, he's like, look, I was born into billions. He's like, I'm worth billions, but I never had to work for anything. He's like, we own the majority of the company of Johnson & Johnson, but our family doesn't even work to run it anymore. He's like, so I really don't feel a sense of purpose. And he's like, my father just tells me to go to college and then just go be an art collector. But he's like, I want to get my hands dirty. I want to feel a sense of accomplishment. I want to build my own businesses. Oh, Jamie Johnson, yes, Tech Explorers NYC. So please, everybody, if you need something to do this weekend, you're gonna love that documentary, Born Rich by Jamie Johnson. Just, it is so incredible because you should see this one kid that was born into billions in the show that he's interviewing that he went to high school with. This kid is such a narcissist, such a terrible person. But others were very stand-up people and they understand that, you know, money's not everything. And one of the people who was exceptional on that show was Ivanka Trump. I was so impressed with like how understanding she is at the time. And she was interviewed at like 17 years old. So just take a look at the interview. I don't really want to explain it because I'm going to butcher it, but I think you guys are going to love that. Charge Reality says, Tom, when are you going back to Florida? Monday morning. Yes, Jamie Johnson is his name. Yes. Born Rich by Jamie Johnson, guys. Check it out. It's just an incredible film. Nicholas says, do you prefer a bottle of sparkling import H2O or artisan bottle of domestic sparkling water? I don't even know what that is. Obama says, art collection equals money. The Mighty Bull says, feeling bullish. Sabrina says, Tom, you're still streaming. Yes, we are. Luciano says, Brazil. Two Wheel Pine says, thanks, I'm going to watch. Sounds interesting. Charlie Richardson says, I would definitely take a look at the documentary. Ralph says, the doc is on YouTube. Sharja says, we will miss you here in New York. Appreciate that. Obama says, Tom should try to read the book Best Wait. Sabrina Ferris says, hi, everybody. So the Empire State Building looks great tonight. Humberto says hello. DJ Fisher says, bye, Tom. Take it easy, DJ, and have a great weekend. Yeah, so it was funny how I stumbled across that. It was just so funny how I stumbled across that documentary because I was literally just thinking about Johnson & Johnson. So I went on sec.gov. I was going through all their financial statements and I was like, you know what? Who owns Johnson & Johnson? Like, what was their family story? And then I typed in Johnson & Johnson family and this kid, Jamie Johnson, came up with a link to a documentary called Born Rich. And it gives you a glimpse, a deep look inside extremely, extremely wealthy people. And these kids as teenagers are like, look, you know, it's tough because, you know, they sort of feel like anything that they do in their life, they're not going to get credit for it because people will say, oh, you're already born a billionaire. It doesn't matter if you're successful because you were handed everything. And I guess I can kind of see where they're coming from, and I could see where that can make them mentally messed up a little bit. It's not that I feel bad for them. I mean, they're billionaires, but it's just very strange because I think at the end of the day, we're all humans, and humans get their satisfaction out of helping others, out of being charitable, out of building businesses, out of working, right? Humans are meant to work and create. So if you're born into all of this wealth, you know, it can be easy just to sit around all day and do nothing, but there's no purpose in doing that. So, very interesting documentary. Hey, Dan Dav 747 says, go to Friends Building Corner, please. Sabrina Fair says, hey. Christian, how are you? Says, she is very loyal and tied to her father. Yeah. Thank you, Lord Jesus Christ. Says, the Empire State Building was where blimps docked and refueled. Other skyscrapers that did that until the Hindenburg. Katie says, beautiful Empire State Building tonight. Out and About says, oh my God, Ivanka comes across as poised, but not so too smart to speak up and leave her Trump name to find her own way. Her father will take her down with him. Jamie Johnson should volunteer in a hospital. That would give him a sense of purpose in life. I think he's still making documentaries. Penelope says, I'll check it out. You still need to check out Dogtown and Z-Boys. So I've watched Lords of Dogtown. I love that movie. Chris G says, laugh my ass off. Yeah, such a rough life. Come on. Yeah, Chris, so I think a lot of people share the same perspective, right? And I think that was so interesting about the documentary. Chris G says, imagine not being able to eat, but instead all the money in the world to do whatever you can and get help. Yeah, so Chris, and I think that's what makes the documentary so interesting. And I agree with you, Chris, but that's what makes the documentary so fascinating. The point is, money is not the end-all be-all. And in the documentary, they actually interview psychologists. And the human foundation, the true human foundation of our core is that humans are meant to work. Humans are meant to have a sense of purpose. So it's really, the point of the documentary is that money doesn't buy happiness, right? And I know it sounds cliche and it sounds stupid, but it's the truth. So everybody has problems, no matter if you're born with nothing, you're in poverty, or you're a multi-billionaire. It doesn't mean that you're going to be happy if you're a multi-billionaire, because a lot of the times these kids that are born into these extremely, unbelievably wealthy families, not even multi-millionaire, I'm talking billions, they just feel that, you know, I have everything handed to me, I don't have to work, so I don't have any purpose in life because, you know, even if I try to do something that's fulfilling, I'll never get the credit for it. And I know it may sound selfish and ridiculous to you and me, but I can kind of see where they're coming from. So it just adds a very different perspective that I never realized before. So very interesting. But Chris, I do understand what you mean. It's like, yeah, cry me a river, you know, Ivanka Trump in her $1 billion apartment, you know, but it's a play on the mind for sure. It's a big play on the mind. Hey, insurance practice exams is here. How are you? Rebel Poet says, this documentary sounds like its purpose was propaganda to generate support for these brats, says Rebel Poet 71. Very interesting take, Rebel Poet 71. So it could be like a dystopian type psyop. Very cool. Very interesting. I would suggest just take a look at the documentary. Just take a look at it and then maybe give a comment, but maybe you're right. Who knows? NCW says, you know, that best psychology is that you show New York